Hello, my name is Dave, and I'd like to share a personal testimony with you. I was raised Lutheran. After I got out of the service, I became a Seventh-day Adventist. For the next 20 plus years, I attended and graduated from an Adventist university. I worked for the church in schools as a teacher and staff member in educational institutions, and served in several church offices. When my wife and I were teaching for the church overseas, we saw some things that kind of bothered us. And instead of keeping the church separate from church institutions, we kind of blamed the church and we left active attendance in the church. For the next 10 years, we visited different denomination churches, but we still believed the Sabbath was correct and struggled with it and just could not find a church home. We came back to the U.S. We tried some churches here, and it just, the same thing with us. So last year we started keeping the Sabbath again, and we wanted to do some type of outreach, some type of Bible studies in our home, but we didn't know what church to be affiliated with. So we were discussing it, and I know one day my wife came home when I was studying the Bible, and she says, you study the Bible a lot, but she says you also sit there and look at the news and you cuss and you're mad at politicians. How do those two things go together? Then another week went by or so, and she came and she goes, I want to return to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And I said, well, I'm not going to stand in your way, but I'm not going to go. Well, when she left the room, it kind of bothered me, and I prayed to God, and I said, God, am I wrong about Ellen White in the Seventh-day Adventist Church? Please let me know for sure. A few weeks later, I was admitted to the hospital. I had liver-related cancer, and I had major surgery, and I nearly died on the table. For the next 2 weeks after then, I was kind of in and out of it, kind of hallucinating because I was on some very strong painkillers and other drugs. And I couldn't communicate well. I couldn't pray. I just would stare at the wall. The following week, I was transferred to a regular room, and I started being more aware of what was going on, but the communication just wasn't there yet. Well, one night, I had this very frightening dream. I dreamed there was a train wreck, a passenger train, and there were bodies laying all over the place. And people were tending to the bodies, but they were ignoring me. And this wicked voice said, you will not be saved. It just made me shudder. And I could just imagine the devil saying it. I mean, that's what I felt was saying it. And then I heard this terrible laugh as I sat up in bed and woke up. This terrible, wicked laugh. The nurse came running in and said, all your monitor alarms went off. And she's, resetting alarms and everything. And she says, we just lost cell phone service. Also, all the nurses did. She left the room, and I was pretty shaken up. But my head was clear for once. And so I prayed to God, and I said, God, please protect me from this. There's evil. And I heard a voice say to me, go back to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And I immediately answered the Lord, and I said, Lord, you know I want to serve. I will go back to church, and I will serve you whether I'm here another day or another decade. And then I felt this peace. I just can't describe this peace I felt. And I really missed the fellowship and the family orientation of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Well, I called my brother early in the morning, and I told him what happened, and he was very, very happy and said, really, when you feel better, share this testimony with others. My wife came in, I told her, and she's like, you're speaking well, you're alert. And I told her what happened, and I said, I need to talk to an Adventist minister. So a couple hours later, an Adventist pastor came in, and I remember saying to him, I said, some denominational pastors would say I'm crazy. What I'm about to tell you is a little bit crazy, but I don't think you will. And I told him what I experienced. He said, no, he believes that in the spiritual realm that there's demons out there trying to cause us trouble. So, he invited me to go back to church, and I was in the hospital over a month, and I've had some follow-ups and some complications and things. So we've attended church in person a couple of times, but the weeks we don't, we watch it, online. And it's really made a difference in my life. And I just wanted to share this with you, that God spoke to me. It does happen. God answers prayers. It might be at a time we're least expecting it, but God will answer you. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and God bless you.